made this possible for us. So thank you very much, Nicole and Margot. And we're just so proud because we know it's the first ever Filipino-American event here at Cedars-Sinai. And we would like to welcome our special guest from the Office of the Consul General of the Philippine Embassy. We have Consul Maria Alni Gambo, and who's joined by the cultural community officer, Anastasia Mendoza. We also would like, Gemma, is yours.
She's giving me the mic. We are so honored for the presence of our president, our very own Vicky De Leon, who is a clinical nurse for the GI endoscopy, who is the president of Kalayan, meaning Freedom Incorporated. That's a big role. We also are honored by the presence of Marie Navarro, who is a clinical nurse for and the Philippine Nurses Association Southern California West LA chapter. We also have Adolfo Thomas, who is the advisor for the Philippine Nurses Association of Southern California, who's also a clinical nurse for Saperstein. We have a lot of leaders.
I don't know what you have about it.
Thank you for being here. And along with 5 Filipino nurses, I came to the United States more than blank years ago. And we journeyed together to work at Cedars-Sinai in 1979. Now you can do the math. We are graced by their presence today, my beloved best friends from the Philippines and at Cedars-Sinai, Teresa Santos, Gertrude Tan, Nora Levin, and Joy Gabriel. They all retired recently to take care of their grandchildren. What do retirees do? And their husbands are here also supporting them. So thank you very much for being here.
So amazing. They said for every Filipino household, there is a nurse or a nurse at heart. Have we ever wondered why there are so many Filipino nurses in the U.S. today? Let's give it up to our musical director, videographer, director, Andrew Gordon to show us.
Mabuhay, Journey of Filipino Nurses to America. Our story begins with the Treaty of Paris of 1898, when after more than 300 years of Spanish rule, the Philippines became the United States colony after the Americans won the Spanish-American War. They seized Spain's colonies in Asia Pacific, but paid the Spaniards $20 million to take over the Philippines. The Filipinos fought back, but eventually conquered by the American troops. As part of the colonization of the Philippines, the U.S. began bringing in education, infrastructure, public health, and developing a medical labor force in the Philippines. They built more than 10 nursing schools in less than a decade. By the early 20th century, American nurses trained Filipino students in courses such as practical nursing, the use of pharmaceuticals, and bacterial culture. Philippine nursing licensure examinations included testing in the English language as well as in nursing-related subjects. Year after year, English-speaking Filipino nurses were graduating from nursing school and in turn prepared Filipino nurses to work in the United States. In 1945, as World War I came to an end, there was less support needed of nurses at the war front, and women quit nursing. Hospitals started seeing a rise of vacancies, which meant America needed to find nurses to fill that void. U.S. looked beyond its borders to fill those jobs Americans wouldn't take, thus recruiting Filipino nurses. Working in the U.S. became an appeal due to the poor wages in the Philippines. They were searching for better opportunities, and because the Filipinos were trained in American culture, to the English language, it influenced so many Filipinos to dream about the U.S. and desire to migrate there. By the 1960s, due to many changes to the U.S. society, the demand of nursing continued to increase, which the Philippines was happy to fulfill the demand. Philippines promoted overseas work because they were sending hundreds of millions of dollars back home to their families. This led to the Philippines becoming the largest exporters of workers in the world. Roughly 20,000 nurses leave the Philippines every year. One-third of all foreign-born nurses in the U.S. were Filipino. Filipino nurses have since filled the nursing shortage during the World War II and during the staffing crisis in the U.S. Many stayed to build strong Filipino communities. Just as American nurses influenced Philippine nursing, so too have Filipino nurses changed the practice of healthcare in the United States. Filipino nurses integrated Filipino cultural values and beliefs into their caregiving practices. Among these core values are high regard for elders and authority, an emphasis on group harmony and interpersonal relationships, and the significance of modesty, sensitivity, spirituality. Such values shape Filipino nurses' renowned compassion and work ethic at the best.
I think I would like to tell you the story when I went to nursing school. I don't want to be a nurse. I want to be the Philippine ambassador to the United Nations. And my dad just laughed it off and said, "You're going to nursing because that's what your mom wants you to do." My second year, I went to this college, and I started liking nursing right on the second semester of my second year. And again, I got involved in extracurricular activities, and a small group of us made it so much fun to be a nurse. There were 6 of us that were from other universities that came to this school on our second year. So we really bonded. And to this day, we are best friends. We were interviewed by Wall Street Journal, and they told our nursing journey from the Philippines to here. As of today, all 5 of them have retired, and I'm still here, and I'm still running, and I still love what I do, and the people I work with.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm excited to talk about that. The second semester of our 5-year degree, you started going to the hospitals for your clinical experience. So it would be 8 hours of clinical experience in the hospital, and then you go back to the school, and there's another 3 to 4 hours of theoretical work to be done. All the theoretical work that you did in the first 2 years, you now get to apply it at your clinical field, and that's where the fun begins. For medical nursing, I had to do 250 cases, which means I had to be with 250 patients for a period of 15 weeks. And that would be an average of 2 to 3 patients a day for 8 hours. And then we had to do communicable disease nursing. So we had to go to the poorest towns in Manila, because that's where my school was, and you educate the families on how to keep themselves clean and safe. You gave immunizations in these poorest neighborhoods in Manila. In addition, I wanted to tell you that, our experience is that the same needle we would be using for about 100 to 200 times, and we had a little boiler in the community where we had to boil all the needles before we can use it on the next patient. We did a month of that, and that's an average of 2 families a day that you had to see and educate, and you had to document all of your teachings. And this was a total of 8 weeks in the community. And then we also had psychiatric nursing. We had to go to the psychiatric hospital, and I remember my experience. For 2 weeks, I was this with one patient who had a diagnosis of catatonia. We had to spend approximately 8 weeks in a psychiatric hospital. And then we had to do our ENT, neurological, orthopedics cases, and that required about 26 weeks. In the operating room, we had to do 4 weeks of 5 days a week going to the operating room, and I had to assist with a lot of surgeries, from orthopedics to urology to gastrointestinal surgeries, and you had to scrub for 10 major cases and scrub for 10 minor cases. My most heartwarming experience was in OB. We had to do 10 deliveries of your own and 15 assisted deliveries in the L&D. So we had to spend it in the busiest maternity hospital in the world. You can see this in YouTube, Fabelia Hospital. But you know what? It was one of the best experiences of my clinical years. On our last semester, you had to learn how to be a charge nurse. This is why I feel like the education we received in the Philippines was quality education. It was intense. They really had to make sure that we could really work in the best and in the worst environment. First, don't sit back and expect things to come to you. You've got to run and try to catch it. Several doors will be closed on your face. You just keep coming back, just keep knocking on the door. And it really shows that you want to get to the outcome. So never give up, that's what I do. I never think about it in a sense where I'm a minority, my skin is brown. I never think about it that way because everything starts with you. I really want our younger nursing professionals to really go and develop yourself more. If the opportunity is there to travel.
Yeah. He's already tired. He's already tired.
But you know what? It was all worth it because it prepared us for our journey here in the United States to be able to work in a very prestigious organization like Cedars-Sinai, and they trusted us. And I think no regrets, right?
Nope.
Thank you for staying awake with a paid music video.
So thank you so much. The very essence of why we're here today is our partnership and commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion in this organization, graced by the presence of our distinguished panelists and facilitated by our beloved Chief of Diversity Inclusion Officer. Thank you so much for supporting this process. We are here today. It starts with us. And my most favorite, Dr. Marsha knows, it's not about us. It's all about our patients, it's all about our community, and it's all about our shared experiences that we are living and breathing together. So thank you so much, Nicole.
Good afternoon, everybody.
So.
Good afternoon, distinguished panelists. In the hot seat, we get to ask